Welcome to the channel, everybody. I am the Casual Shark, and if you just stayed through that madness, then I'm just gonna let you know that I did try to learn that dance specifically for this video intro. And this video is going to be a movie review on Deadpool and Wolverine. It is the third movie in the Deadpool trilogy, and is it potentially the best movie of the decade? Let's talk about it. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the plot line. So you have Deadpool learning that his timeline is being destroyed or is just coming to an end because his anchor being is dead. And so he learns that his anchor being was none other than Logan or Wolverine. What he believes is the correct path forward, not what Paradox is telling him to do. Paradox says, look, we're going to put you in the main timeline for the Avengers, and you're going to become a very vital part, basically the universe. And so all Deadpool hears is my timeline's ending and Wolverine was my anchor being. I need to find another Wolverine. So now he takes Paradox's device and he starts traveling through timelines, and he goes and finds... First, I'm going to start by saying there are some spoilers in this review. So if you haven't seen the movie, it's a heads up just to know that there's spoilers incoming. So the first Wolverine that he comes upon is comic accurate short Wolverine. And it's still played by Hugh Jackman. It's hilarious. And then we come across the Wolverine in the comic suit where he's fighting Hulk. So the brown and yellow suit. Then we get the Calverine, which is Henry Cavill playing as the Wolverine. So, and then stumbles across a couple other Wolverines, and then he gets to the one that he picks. Just a drunk, good for nothing Wolverine. So he brings him back to the TVA, and Paradox says, you could not have brought me a worse Wolverine. This Wolverine literally let down his entire world. With that, they start fighting, then they're sent into the void. They travel in the void. They find, or well, I won't say they find, Cassandra Nova's grunts find them and bring them to her. Well, they manage to escape from her on the leg of a sentinel, and so they're traveling through the void because they've heard that there are other mutants or heroes stuck in there on the outer rim of the void, and so they actually are found by them. And we learn that you have Elektra and you have Blade, X-23 and Gambit. This new group decides to come together and try to beat Cassandra Nova so that Deadpool and Wolverine can get back home and they can save Deadpool's timeline. But while we're in the void, we learn that there's a core of Deadpools. A core of them. Not just one or two. There's hundreds of Deadpools. They fight with Cassandra Nova and her grunts for a while. They get her to open up a sling ring portal back home. But guess who walks through that portal? Hundreds of Wolverines. One of those being played by his wife, Blake Lively. And it's also every one of his kids. So every kid that he has was a Deadpool. And it's really entertaining to watch this fight go down between all the Deadpools and Wolverine. Like, it's choreographed fantastically. But after they fight all this, we have Peter Pool. So the original Peter from Deadpool 2 is the same one in this movie, and he comes running up, and we figure out that every universe has its own Peter, and so they just instantly flock to him, and it gives Wolverine and Deadpool a chance to get into the TVA and stop Cassandra Nova. And so to end this movie, we see Wolverine and Deadpool linking hand in hand, connected to what is powering machine that Cassandra Nova is using to destroy the timeline. And so they manage to reverse it, and it kills Cassandra Nova. That's the story in a nutshell. And throughout this story, we get a lot of cameos. So I've already mentioned we got Blade and Elektra, X-23 and Gambit. But from the original X-Men movies, we got Pyro and Lady Deathstrike, Toad, and Sabretooth. It was an intense time just seeing all these characters return to the MCU. Because, I mean, realistically, most people thought that we wouldn't get these characters again because they were for another company that was eventually bought out. But they've made a comeback in some aspect. I'm not going to say that they're going to be back long term or anything like that, but they did make a comeback for this movie. Another cameo that I didn't see coming. So I tried not to watch many trailers for this movie because I wanted to go into it and just be stunned and blown away for the entire movie. So the very first cameo that we get is none other than Chris Evans. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, now we have an answer for what happened to Captain America. He didn't actually, stay back in the original timeline so he could be with Peggy. He was stopped by the TVA and sent to the void. But Deadpool was hinting at the same thing, and then we get Flame On, and we find out that it's Chris Evans' Human Torch. I wasn't expecting that, so my mind was blown. Throughout all these cameos in the plot line, you have the Merc with the Mouth's humor. So Deadpool and Wolverine argue back and forth like they're siblings, and the humor is very crude. So if you're not a fan of dirty, like basically X-rated jokes, and it's very obvious why the movie is an R-rated movie. To me, I thought the humor was hilarious. You get to see, joking around about, do you want to make a snowman? If you go watch the movie, you'll understand that reference. The humor perfectly sets the movie to be a Deadpool type movie. So the way that Deadpool talks to all the TVA soldiers when they first arrive, it's very inappropriate. So at some points it does seem like it kind of goes too far, but I mean, this is what we're getting from a Deadpool movie, and I think we just have to accept it if we want to be entertained by it. So me personally, I think that it was fantastically done. Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, they did a wonderful job throughout this movie. My personal opinion on this is that I think this potentially could be the saving grace for the MCU, because the past couple of movies, in my opinion, have been a little subpar. But this movie could potentially be the best movie of the decade. It's already breaking so many records worldwide. And if you haven't seen it, go watch it. I watched it twice in theaters. So I watched it once in regular, just standard, but then I watched it again in 3D. So I don't really recommend watching it in 3D. There wasn't a ton of 3D aspects in there, but it was a fantastic movie either way. And one thing I forgot to mention is that the reason I learned the dance to NSYNC's Bye 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 is because that is the opening scene in Deadpool. And I will say it is the best opening scene probably in any movie ever. And that movie hits home to so many of us that were born in the 90s or late 80s and got to hear that song. Everybody knows it if you were born in that time frame. And so I thought, what better way to start this video than to attempting to learn the dance? Will I say it's fantastic? No, it's not by any means. But you know what? I took a chance. Hopefully it entertains you. And if you enjoyed this movie review, go ahead, subscribe to the channel, smack the like button, leave a comment. Let me know if you watched the movie, what your favorite part of the movie was. And if you want to see other movie reviews, just go ahead and click the video right here. And I will catch you in the next one. Let's fucking go.